Guys, first game this Friday. How you feeling?
Oh, very excited. You know, we have a brand new group. We have a lot of new players. I think we've been working really hard in the last 3 weeks. I think we're very excited to see how we're going to do in a real match situation.
Yeah.
So the Salt City Classic, 2 years in a row, Syracuse is hosting it. What does it mean to you to have this tournament here for the first weekend of the season?
Yeah, it's always nice to start out at home, you know. I think it's nice to start out in our own gym, especially with so many new players and so many young players. It gives them a comfort level. And obviously, if we host a tournament, we want to compete and do a good job. And at the end of the day, we want to try to win that tournament.
How do you manage expectations after such a long layoff, especially in volleyball? I mean, you haven't played since what, November, December?
Yeah, but it's pretty normal, right? You know, we kind of break it down into mini seasons. You know, we use the spring season for improvements and recruiting, and then we use the summer just to bring the team together. You know, so we kind of break it down into different stages. But we're excited. You know, we're excited to get started, and we're excited to compete, and we're also excited to show what we can do.
You worried about rust at all?
Rust? I think not really, because it's a brand new team, right? We have so many different pieces that are brand new. But at the end of the day, I mean, every other team in the country is in the same position as we are.
You talked about new team, 7 returners, and a lot of new players. How do you think they're going to gel together, and have you seen these players come together and really develop that chemistry already?
Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. I think we are aware of the fact that we have a lot of new players. That really helps us to initiate a lot of activities to encourage team chemistry and getting to know each other and coming together. So I think we're in a really good stage in that area, in that process. I think it's a very enjoyable group, a very hard-working group, and I think a very skilled group as well. So we're certainly excited to keep going.
Just to keep it going, as far as your outlook, how are you going to use this non-conference schedule to build on and get ready for ACC play in that very competitive conference?
Yeah. Obviously, the ACC is a top conference, a really high ranked conference. You can completely replicate the competition level. However, our non-conference schedule is really well designed in order to challenge us every weekend. Every weekend we have some tough competitions, teams that have history competing in the NCAA tournament. So we want to kind of walk a fine line between building confidence, competing at a high level, but also challenging ourselves. Then hopefully all that will get us ready for the competition level we will face in conference play.
You have obviously your 2 captains right here. What does it mean to have them here coming over as transfer students and already taking over that leadership role?
Yeah, I think it's great. I think obviously it's nice that we have returners, with really good qualities as well in that area. However, I always say, just because players have not been with us here doesn't mean they didn't lead somewhere else, right? And both have a really strong history of taking on leadership positions in their program, and did a really good job there. And we're really hoping that they're going to transfer that over to our program. So far, they really showed really good qualities, and that's one of the reasons we all decided that they would be excellent candidates for this position.
Have any of the returners really impressed you, making a big jump this year? Have there been any?
Yeah, absolutely. I think a lot of them really evolved and have gotten better. That's one of the things we try to do in this program, developing players. I think Sarah really took a big step forward. I think she's, if you would have seen her freshman year to now, it's a big transformation. I think Sydney Waller really took a big step forward. I think Skylar is another person who really has more tools in her repertoire, especially from an offensive standpoint. So a lot of those returners certainly made a big leap forward, which is good news for us.
What was kind of like your main like target in the transfer portal, and like how are you happy with how like your portal classes turned out?
Yeah, very happy. We wanted to have a very high skill level, but also very high volleyball IQ. Overall versatile players that understand the game. But most important thing for us was good character. Good values that really reflect our value system here, because I think that's a big part of creating a cohesive and a team that can gel together and have good chemistry.
Cool. Anything final for Coach?
So you guys started 12-0 last year, obviously having a really big cushion going into the ACC.
Yeah.
Are you guys going to try to do anything, differently to try to, preserve that cushion? And, now that you have the team to sort of get you over that hump,
Yeah.
what can we expect when we get to those ACC games?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to try to win as many games as we can and non-conference play before we go into conference play. However, so do all the opposing teams we're playing, right? So it's going to be tough competition. Starting with Niagara, they're bringing pretty much everybody back, besides of maybe one position. So is the case for Ryder and even Moyne, right? So we certainly won't make a mistake underestimating anybody. We're gonna take everybody as serious as it needed, and I'm pretty sure, and I'm very certain they do the same. So it's gonna be good competition, but our goal is to compete against everybody we're playing, for sure.
Do those locals games kind of mean anything in the start? Like especially like Moyne, like you see a lot of players maybe were overlooked, but you guys maybe have like a chip on their shoulder coming into it. Like, what do you tell the players, especially
Yeah. I think it's great that Moyne is Division One now.
Yeah.
I think it's great for this area. It's great for this region, for our sport. So that's one of the reasons we made sure we have them on our schedule. I think it's a great rivalry we can establish for years. And it's good to see that all the other sports are competing against Moyne as well. And there's certainly, there's a reason they moved up to Division One. They have the capability of competing at this level, and they're certainly going to come out and do the best they can. But so are we.
Cool.
All right, thanks, Coach.